All right. From food with love to the strongest mycelial network on the planet. This has been a dream of mine in the making for a decade. I have Paul Stamets with me, who I absolutely adore as a human being. And I'm going to bring him up on stage. He's one of our keynotes before we close out with a really special person also from the Bay Area. I'm so lucky to have you here as well as the next surprise. And then we're going to close out for the day and go downstairs. But Paul Stamets, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
You want to use this or you want to use
I use this one now. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and this is a culmination of literally decades of work. So I'm going to bring to your attention what I think is a paradigm-shifting, scalable solution for viral pandemics. We've entered into a period of constant viral storms. The concentration of animals, including people, has allowed these vectors to spread. In fact, all habitats are infused with mycelium. When I started talking about mycelium 40 years ago, people didn't know. I think most everybody in this room knows what mycelium is now from all the movies, et cetera. But the mushrooms that form from mycelium are the proverbial tip of the iceberg. In fact, mycelium is 99% of the life cycle with most mushrooms. And so the mushrooms are a portal into a vast mycelial network, literally underneath your feet, up to 8 miles per cubic inch, 400 miles under every footstep you take. They permeate all habitats. They create quorums and guilds of cooperating microorganisms that then create sustainable food chains and healthy ecosystems. The mycelium over 4 days grows exponentially. This is highly scalable, folks. This is a fermentation technology that can be, literally, you can take a small fragment like that and grow up to 10 million pounds of mycelium in 4 to 6 months. That's how much you can grow. So my journey started when Dr. Frank Pirano, when I met when I was 22 years of age at the University of Wisconsin Medical School, asked me to find the gypsy mushroom. He was a virologist, and I sent him like 20 to 30 pounds of this mycorrhizal mushroom that grows in the old growth forest. He discovered a novel antiviral drug called RC-138. It's from Frank Pirano's stimulation of my interest that you're going to see the consequences of a kind elder who adopted a friendship with a young man and collaborated with me. So directly after 9/11, let me go back one, if I could. I published then in the Herbalgram a synopsis of all the articles ever published on antiviral drugs or properties from mushrooms, a whopping half a page long. There's virtually nothing in the scientific literature. Then after 9/11, because a physician, a virologist, saw my article that was published in Herbalgram mentioning Frank Pirano's research, the BioShield program contacted me in 2004. This is a BARDA, DARPA, NIH, US AMRID project. We submitted 2,392 samples and tests that were conducted. I shotgunned this because I had a vast culture library. And thank you to the US government, the Department of Defense, and George Bush and Dick Cheney, frankly, who funded the BioShield program. And I hit the home run, folks. You can Google my name, Stamets, smallpox, National Public Radio, and more than 2 million samples submitted to the BioShield program. My natural product of this one mushroom, Agarikon, was in the top 10. That was active against pox viruses and then H5N1. The virologists in the audience here, if you know anything about selectivity indexes, when it's greater than 10, it's active, and the Agarikon extract was more than 200 times. This is way more than most antiviral drugs currently. So I had this discovery, but I couldn't do a clinical study. This is all in vitro work. So the story continues. I'm a beekeeper. I had bees growing on my property, and I was growing mushrooms. And one day in July, I came out, and I noticed bees were sipping little droplets from mycelium. They spread the wood. And I saw a continuous convoy of bees to my mushroom patch for more than 40 days. Well, I noted this. I put it in a book. I forgot about it. And then I heard about colony collapse. And the colony collapse has accelerated in the past several years. This past year, 75 to 100% 100% of beehives have been lost. One bee will pollinate 1,000 flowers in a day. They used to fly for 10 days, now they fly for 4. But if you're a commercial beekeeper with 500 hives, you have nothing to be able to help the almond industry, the apples, the cherries, all these foods that we're dependent upon pollination. We have a bee apocalypse, folks. This is a viral pandemic of extraordinary severity that threatens our food chains, the economy, agricultural economies, and viruses don't care about borders. So we know that the deformed wing virus is the worst virus that's out there. And miticide-resistant mites are now the vector of spreading the deformed wing virus. And so when a honeybee that has the virus goes to a flower, bumblebees visit that flower, they get infected. So it's going from domesticated bees into wild bees. It's spreading all over the world. No continent is immune from this right now. So this is what happens, is that the bumblebees' wings became very, very deformed. They can't fly. They walk around. The Apis mellifera, the honeybee, the same thing. The deformed wing virus is a viral pandemic that is the #1 virus that's decimating beehives all over the world. So I pursued this, and I'm the author with my colleagues at the USDA and Washington State University. We published in Nature Scientific Reports. We were able to reduce viruses of the deformed wing virus with the extract of the 2 polypore mushrooms, Amadou and reishi, 879 to 1, with one treatment of 1% into the sugar water that beehives feed. This is an extraordinary result. Jay Evans, PhD, a virologist from the USDA, stated this is the most significant results he's ever seen. And we published this in Nature and Scientific Reports. So my idea here from the BioShield program, translational medicine, went to bees and decided to try it on bees with great success. So we also found that the extracts extend the longevity of bees, because the bees with just sugar syrup, 20 of them would die in this period of time. And then not only did we defeat the deformed wing virus, we extended longevity so the bees then could pollinate the flowers. And this is a phenomenal, phenomenal discovery. It is highly scalable. This is something that anyone can do in any country of the world. And being here at this group of all these different countries, they have a vested interest in the agroeconomies. This is a scalable solution. So the Vector Institute in Russia also discovered something that I discovered 4 years earlier with the BioShield program, with that older growth mushroom called Agarikon that reduces smallpox and H5N1 bird flu. So it's not only me, but we were ahead of the Russians by 4 or 5 years. That's kind of nice. So the H5N1, if you've been following the news, is spreading all over the world again. It's infected cows. It jumps in from between animal species. This is the next viral pandemic that's on the near event horizon. The virologists I've been working with for over 20 years, this is the virus that we thought would come, but COVID came instead. We are very close to an H5N1 pandemic. Cows have it, sea lions have it, birds have it, migrations are occurring right now. H5N1, we're going to have many patient zeros across the world. They'll co-incubate flu viruses with bird flu. And then we have horizontal gene transfer, and if they dock on the receptors in the lungs, then this is going to be a pandemic that's going to make like COVID look like child's play, literally. So I'm happy to announce the results of 2 clinical studies, clinicaltrials.gov, working with the University of California, San Diego, University of California, Los Angeles. And we get a shout out and credit to Gordon Sachs, MD, PhD, Andrew Shuboff, MD, Christine Smith, and my other colleagues that I'll show at the end, my acknowledgement slide at the very end. This has been a long, long struggle, folks. It's not funded by anything but donations from philanthropists who are interested in integrated medicine. So the mushroom that we focused on was Agarikon because of the BioShield program. It's a perennial polypore, can grow up for 120 years. We take tissue cultures. We do not collect this mushroom because it's endangered. It only grows in the old growth forests. Sky Islands in Europe, and Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. We take a small piece of tissue, we put it in laboratories, and we grow them up, and we make extracts. This is highly scalable. It's exponential expansion of mycelial mass, and we can grow literally tons of this. We now have the largest strain library of Agarikon in the world, 118 strains. One time out of 50 going into the old growth forest, will I find one of these? This represents literally hundreds of years of exploration to grab as many strains of Agarikon as possible. We cryopreserve them in liquid nitrogen, in these little ampules. These are some of the strains. We've been doing whole genome sequencing. We've been now whole genome sequenced 118 of these strains, and we'll be using AI and genomics in the combination to find the gene expressions. Because what is happening, it is not an antiviral drug. We did bioguided fractionation to find an isolated molecule, and you can fractionate to inactivity. It's an entourage effect activating your endogenous immune system that creates a cascade of immunomodulatory responses without a cytokine storm. Now, so a little history lesson, many of you know this, but many may not, is Mary Hunt's strain, Mycelium chrysogenum, that allowed for the industrialization of penicillin. Her strain produced 200 times more penicillin than that of Alexander Fleming. Mycodiversity, biodiversity of fungi is important. So when we are now searching for a super strain of our library of 118 strains, we will find a Mary Hunt super strain. But we got lucky. We got lucky because in the old growth forest, I chose one strain of Agarikon and turkey tail, the most well-studied medicinal mushroom in the world. We have submitted this as under peer review at a renowned medical journal. Our results of polypore mushroom mycelium as an adjunct for COVID-19 infection, a randomized clinical trial, placebo-controlled. We'll grow the mycelium on rice. Rice is the placebo. And here is some charts I'm going to show you. For those people who didn't, this is for vaccinated people, literally recruited as people were getting vaccinations. Do you want to do a mushroom clinical study, be involved in it? The 10 most common adverse effects associated with vaccines, muscle aches, headaches, etc. The people who did not get the Agarikon and turkey tail are the black line in 3 days. The people who did had reduced adverse effects. Most of you have gotten a vaccine, day 2, day 3, you feel like you're hit by a truck. Well, that's it. That happens to us. You miss school, you miss work, you're not good as parenting, you're not as good as productive. So this is a remarkable result because 30% of people do not get vaccines because of vaccine hesitancy due to the adverse effects. The JAMA was concerned about the cytokine storm. We showed we could upregulate immunity without inflammation. And so we found also, surprisingly, 6 months later, there is more than twice the reservoir of antibodies in the Agarikon turkey tail strain cohort than people who just got the vaccine by themselves. So extended immunological benefit 6 months later. I have about 4 more slides here. So now I'm showing for the first time, this is non-vaccinated individuals who are diagnosed with COVID 24 hours to 96 hours. People got sick from COVID. So this is a non-vaccinated group. And the significance of this is kind of hard to explain how important this is. Those physicians in the audience can see that this is clinically relevant data. Substantial reduction in sore throat. Many people have described the sore throat being like eating razor blades. Virtually massive reduction of sore throat, stuffing of runny nose. That's the phlegm. And when people sneeze, they spread the virus. So the fact that you can reduce sneezing and phlegm, headaches, muscle aches, etc., this is without a vaccine. Now, what this means is that I believe, hypothetically, Agarikon and turkey tail is upregulating your endogenous immune system. So it's a higher state of readiness to customize responses. It's an entourage effect of activating multiple pathways immunologically. So the 6 primary symptoms of COVID-19 infection, Well, here's the 6 primary functions of H5N1. The only difference is a loss of smell and taste. I believe, this is a paradigm-shifting, scalable discovery that can help mitigate zoonotic viral pandemics from bees to birds to pigs to cows to people. It's dependent upon the microdiversity of the ecosystems that we cherish. The Agarikon grows only in the old-growth forest. It's on the endangered red list of extinction in Europe. This is something that's been my lifelong journey to come to this moment right now with you. This is an audacious, positive disruption that can help conventional medicine, and whether you get vaccinated or not, people, I think, will benefit. I want to thank you very much.
I know we're running against, we're literally running.